me, man. And thanks for the email, man. But at the same time, you forgot one thing, man. You forgot to put at the end. Remember I said at the end, man, you gotta put sexy at the end, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because every time you go back to read that email that you sent to me, man, and you see that word sexy in there, guess what happened? It stimulates that neurotransmitter in your brain, man. That every time you use that word, it makes you feel good because now you tied to me. You know what I'm saying? So when you tie to me, you gotta feel good, or else, man, I don't know what you've been flexing, but I look like this when I woke up, bro. You see this? 6.2% body fat all year round, man. And some of y'all be like, "Oh man, that's not true." Well, I mean, what can I say, man? But think about this though. I'm gonna show you guys today, man, of what you need to diet properly, man. First thing first, remember, guys, everything that I show you guys, man, all the stuff that I do, right? But at the same time, there's a difference between just compared to control, right? If you have no control in what it is that you do, right? If you have no control to what it is that you're trying to accomplish, guess what happened? Just like in the application of a scientific method, right? Scientific methodology, if you have no control, then you cannot be categorized as a scientific study, right? Psychology, for example, right? An observational study is not a scientific methodology research, right? Because that's observational. It does not have an experimental control. It does not categorize as a scientific research study. I still believe that, right? But beyond that point, right? Beyond the point, this is what I'm gonna show you guys, man. See, sometimes when you have sweet tooth, right, like I do, is that like how I bumped my head this morning here? It didn't hurt though, man, but the condom broke though, right? My head bumped to it and the condom broke. Some of you guys might be the opposite though. I mean, some of you guys, you might bump your head and your head might break, but my condom broke because of, I got a cut, but hey, it broke. What can I say, man? I can be dangerous, but at the same time, let me show you. Because I speak to you sometimes, man, I get goosebumps, you know what I'm saying? When I get goosebumps, I tend to have something called a sweet tooth. When I have a sweet tooth, what am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying, but at the same time, the point is I'm gonna show you guys why some certain guru expert, they really don't know what they're talking about, man. They don't. All they do is look at the book, but at the same time, the book that they haven't read in like what 10, 25 years. Look at this, man. See this? This is Nutella. You put Nutella with crackers, right? Here's why this is good. No, this is my diet, bro. Here's why this is good for you, right? The Nutella and the cracker, right? It has the sodium, but at the same time, it has the sweet tooth to satisfy your need. A small increment, if you have sweet tooth, right? The small increment of Nutella can help you alleviate that what do you call it? That want, right? That want is that wanting is the one thing that you guys want to eliminate, man, right? And that wanting is the things that you want to eliminate through the increment of control. When you have that increment of control, you see how I use the small cracker? You see how I use the small cracker in the diet to eliminate that wanting, because that wanting, guys, it built upon every time you want to eat something sweet, but you say, "Oh, I might get fat. I might get fat." That wanting of not wanting to satisfy that need, guess what happened? It built into a stress. It built eventually into what you call it, a serotonin domination of depression. Yes, it does, guys. When you don't satisfy your need of that want or learn how to control it, it will lead to depression. It's been studied upon, guys. And this is what I do. You feel me? But at the same time, yep, I have a stack of it, right? But here's something else. I got my whey protein. You see that? So tell me, what's the difference between you have the Nutella here on top of the whey protein with the cracker? What's the difference? There isn't much, right? The fact of the matter is Nutella also have protein. Hey, what's up, hey? The Nutella also have, the protein. The whey protein also have the protein. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, guys, is that when you have the sweet tooth, right? When you have the sweet tooth, I'm pretty good, man. We'll let you. Hey, check me out. Bow. When you have the sweet tooth, you gotta satisfy your need, right? So, but instead of drinking a $35 protein shake, right? I can satisfy my craving of that sweet tooth that I have, right? On that sweet tooth that I have with something small, in small portion. Like when you have a small portion of control, it take away from that wanting, and guess what happened? You learn how to build a control system of way in which you don't have to worry about satisfying the sweet tooth, because if you don't satisfy a sweet tooth, it will lead to depression. You don't want that. You want to slowly learn how to control by taking small increments, right? That's what I do. I get the result, man. Hey, what's up? Hi, Amelia. How are you, Amelia? My name is Sam. Sam I am, the green eggs and ham. I like to fly because I don't have a pan. A pan, get it? Like a flying pan? What can I say, Hey, what's up, Michelle? Pretty good, man. So I'm sure you guys how the difference between of satisfying the the Nutella with the protein shake, right? But at the same time, is that the protein shake is very expensive, right? Not many people can afford a $35 drink. But to help build the control of alleviating the sweet tooth, like I do, I have a sweet tooth. I use it as a small increments by taking cracker with the Nutella to help me build that strong foundation of like, look, I don't need to spend $35 to satisfy my craving. I just have a small portion that I can satisfy throughout the day, in which it can help me build a system in which this is healthy, guys, right? It's carbohydrate along with the sodium in a small increment that your body needs to metabolize, as well as the your potassium channel, right? Your sodium and potassium channel. It require the sodium. So now you're stacking carbohydrate. That's pretty good, right? But building a framework that you guys can operate to build that sweet tooth to avoid depression, right? Because depression leads from not wanting, not satisfying that wanting, right? So, what's up, Iz? What's up, Izzy? What's up, Dougie? Any question? Hey, ask the question. I gotta head out in a little bit, man. Zeke, you have any question? Michelle? Amelia? Hey, Amelia, you have any question? Ziggy, you have any questions? Ask me a question, bro. Let's go fun. Am I buff? I'm all right, man. You know what I mean? I'm decent. Wait, I just saw that and I saw pie, and then I almost died a moment ago. So what coding you do, bro? You put you got pie right in the front. Sorry, man. I see certain things that I think is funny, but when I see someone put an at and a pie right next to it, I'm thinking quantum physics. So I'm thinking like, what the hell are you talking about, bro? Like, that's why I choke. What can I say, man? All right, so let me show you guys some tips real quick. All right, ready? All right, I gotta head out a little bit, man. I gotta go clown Elon real quick. But at the same time, check this out. The hammer, right? The hammer. You always want to practice your hammer, right? Right? But at the same time, you always want to warm up with the backhand, right? With the backhand, right? But at the same time, if it's too heavy, right? You can also don't laugh at me, man. You can also use this type of hammer that you can make your own, right? But if that's too long for you, man, you can also try something else, man. You can use this little hammer here, right? I call this this big boy. I call this my big boy, right? Or you can use my IKEA one, right? But at the same time, man, if it's that little too much for you, bro, I got something else for you, man. In MMORPG, if you're a gamer, right? You see this right here? That double-edged sword? Yeah, you see that? Right? You know what I'm saying? Right? Flip. And you guys play flip for fun? Remember? That double-edged sword? Right? Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. But if that is too much for you, man, I stick to something that I like my own, man. I call this my Duval, you know what I'm saying? You get one of these. You can build that, man. You get one of these. You can build this, right? But at the same time, how many hammers do I have? Well, I got this one too, right? It's 18 pounds, but at the same time, man, I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty light though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but at the same time, it's like, nah, it's all right, man. You know what I'm saying? I like to flex a lot, but at the same time, I like to drink my protein at the same time too. It's my blender. So what? So what? It's my blender. So what? I drink. Yeah, yes, I drink straight off from the blender. So what? What can I say? What can I say, bro? I mean, if you can step it up, what can I say? It's messy. All right, guys. Hey, remember, guys. Last tip before I head up, man. Guys, remember, if you have sweet tooth, right? Real talk. Listen. If you have sweet tooth, you want to satisfy it, right? You want to find a way to satisfy your sweet tooth. No, listen. You want to satisfy it. You always want to satisfy your craving, right? What's up, the Alec Newser? You always want to satisfy your craving. Guys, listen. You always want to satisfy your craving, but find ways to satisfy it in small increments. So that way you learn to build a habit of satisfying the craving to avoid depression. Because when you don't satisfy your craving, it will eventually stack up in which you build a depression, a serotonin release, in which you learn how to think like, I can't satisfy because I'm fat, because I'm ugly. You see how that can lead to depression, right? And when you get into depression, guys, it's hard to come out, right? It's not an overnight thing that you can just come out. The same way that in order to build the dopamine receptor, to build the excitement, you have to learn how to satisfy your craving, guys. If you don't do that, like how I use my craving with my crackers and Nutella, and I correlate it to my whey protein shake, because it's the same things in a way, similar, but in a smaller increment, and in the hood, bro, it's affordable. But at the same time, you're building a good carbohydrate along with a good protein from the Nutella, but at the same time, guys, it's in small increments. If you don't satisfy your craving, guys, it will lead to depression. It will lead to many things that you don't want to have. Does that make sense? I hope so, man. But at the same time, the blender I do more than. Hey, if it works, it works. All right, guys. But that, hey, thanks for the support, man, and thank you for the emails, by the way, man. I appreciate the positive vibe. I really do, man. But at the same time, you got to apply, man. Look, if you can't flex, you can't be with me, man. That's straight up. You know what I'm saying? I pose, but we pose because we could, because we do. We take action, right? We don't just talk, man. We take action. So I want you guys to take action the same way, man. There's one, is to build that foundation of satisfying your craving in small increments. You have to, man, or else you go somewhere else, bro. I'm all about applying, guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to help you out. Take that action to apply and satisfy that craving, guys. Trust me, it will work, all right? But on that, man, hey, thanks for the positive vibe, man. Hey, thank you, Alec. And, gracias. I'll see you guys next time. All right, adios, man. Dang, I look good, man.